You've probably heard this before. Just eat a can of sardines a day. Or maybe boil a few eggs and you'll be strong again. But here's the truth. If you're over 60, eating sardines and eggs alone is not going to rebuild your muscles. And I don't say that to scare you. I say it because you deserve real answers. You're doing what they say, boiled eggs for breakfast, sardines at lunch, but nothing's changing. Your legs still feel weak. Getting up from a chair is harder than it used to be. You're starting to wonder, is this just what aging feels like now? It's not, but it is what happens when your body isn't getting enough usable protein. Sardines, around 18 grams of protein, 10 eggs, about 60 grams. But to build muscle after 60, you likely need 100 grams or more every single day. And your muscles don't respond to protein like they used to. Aging makes protein harder to absorb and harder to use. That's why today I'll share 4 simple foods more powerful than sardines, backed by science, that can truly help you rebuild strength. Plus 1 food you must avoid if you're serious about stopping muscle loss. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Subscribe if this resonates, because today could be your turning point. Let's begin. Now, let's start rebuilding your strength with something humble. Not expensive, not exotic, just a simple can of beans. Most people overlook canned beans because they seem too ordinary. But that little can holds one of the most complete muscle-building tools for seniors, especially if you're trying to eat less meat. 1 cup of black beans delivers around 15 grams of protein. Kidney beans, about 13. That's already more than sardines. But the power of beans goes far beyond just protein content. Beans contain lysine, an amino acid that's often missing in plant-based diets. Lysine is essential for muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to actually build new muscle fibers. Without it, even if you're eating enough total protein, your muscles can't rebuild properly. They're also rich in magnesium, which many seniors lack without realizing. Magnesium is critical for muscle contraction and relaxation. When you're low, muscles tire faster, cramp more easily, and recover more slowly. Add folate and potassium nutrients that support nerve function and reduce muscle cramping, and you start to see why beans are far more than just fiber and carbs. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Gerontology and Geriatrics followed 150 seniors over 20 weeks. Those who incorporated a variety of canned beans into daily meals while doing light physical activity saw a 16% increase in muscle endurance and 19% faster recovery compared to those following a standard senior diet. Simple, accessible, and effective. Let me give you a real-world example. Barbara, 68, told me she'd been eating canned tuna regularly, but still felt fatigued and weak. Once we added 1 cup of mixed beans to her lunch salads and soups, her energy improved within weeks. I don't nap every afternoon anymore. She told me, I'm gardening again. That's the power of pairing plant-based proteins with the right nutrients. And here's the best part. It doesn't take complicated recipes. You can warm canned beans, rinse to reduce sodium, and toss them with olive oil, chopped vegetables, and a squeeze of lemon. Add a little canned tuna or mushrooms, and suddenly you've got a meal that delivers complete amino acids, supports energy, and helps build lean mass without relying on meat. This isn't trendy, it's timeless. For centuries, ancient civilizations like the Mayans and Native American tribes used beans as foundational fuel for their warriors and laborers. They knew what we're only just rediscovering now. Beans build strength, so the next time you look past that can of beans in your pantry, think again. Because inside that can might be the difference between staying strong or slowly slipping into weakness. In the next part, I'll show you a food that pairs beautifully with beans and delivers even more muscle-building power than sardines ever could. It's affordable, convenient, and surprisingly effective for older adults. Let's keep going. Let's talk about one of the most underrated muscle-building foods sitting quietly on your shelf. Canned tuna. It's nothing fancy, no shiny label, no bold promises, just a can. But inside that can is more muscle power than sardines could ever offer. A single 3.5-ounce serving of canned tuna contains 25 to 30 grams of complete protein, about 40% more than the same portion of sardines. And that protein is easily absorbed by aging muscles, making it incredibly effective for seniors who are struggling with weakness, balance, and slow recovery. But it's not just about quantity. it's about quality. Tuna contains all 9 essential amino acids, which your body needs to grow and maintain muscle. And unlike some protein sources, it's low in fat and calories, making it ideal for seniors watching their weight or managing heart health. Here's where tuna really stands out. Its B12 and selenium content. Vitamin B12 supports nerve health and energy production, 2 things that decline with age. Selenium acts as an antioxidant, helping to reduce inflammation in your muscles after physical activity and improving protein metabolism. That means your body doesn't just eat protein, it actually uses it. In an 8-month study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers tracked 180 seniors diagnosed with sarcopenia. Those who consumed tuna 3 times a week gained an average of 4.1 pounds of lean muscle, compared to just 1.2 pounds in the control group. That's over 3 times the muscle gain with no supplements required. I've seen similar results in real life. Take Harold, 74. After struggling for years with upper body weakness, he started adding canned tuna to his lunch salads and his morning egg scrambles. "I feel it in my arms when I carry groceries now," he told me, laughing. "That didn't used to happen." Canned tuna is also incredibly versatile. You can mix it with black beans and vegetables for a protein-rich salad, add it to scrambled eggs and spinach in the morning, or serve it over brown rice with roasted vegetables for dinner. These combinations aren't just tasty, they're strategic. Tuna pairs well with beans, mushrooms, and other nutrient-dense foods, creating complete meals that support protein absorption, reduce inflammation, and keep you full and energized. Now, before we move on, a quick word of caution. Tuna, like most canned proteins, can be high in sodium. If you're managing blood pressure, look for low-sodium versions and avoid adding extra salt. Moderation is key. But here's the bigger picture. When you combine tuna with the right partners like beans or mushrooms, you create what I call a muscle synergy. Each food complements the other, filling in nutritional gaps and maximizing what your muscles can actually use. And in the next part, we'll dive into one of tuna's best partners. It's not a fish, it's not a meat, it's not even something most people consider protein food. But for aging muscles, it's one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory allies you could add to your plate. Let's go there next. If beans and tuna are the builders, mushrooms are the repair crew. They may not look like much, soft, simple, earthy, but what they do inside your body is remarkable, especially for aging muscles. Most people don't think of mushrooms when it comes to protein or strength, but they should. First, yes, they do contain protein. A cup of cooked mushrooms gives you around 12 to 15 g, often more than a single serving of sardines. But protein is only part of the story. Mushrooms are rich in B vitamins like B6 and folate, which play a key role in protein metabolism and muscle repair. These vitamins help your body turn the protein you eat into actual muscle tissue, a process that slows down as we age. But the real secret lies in what mushrooms do after your workout. You see, when we exercise or even when we go for a long walk, our muscles experience microscopic damage. That's normal, it's part of how they grow. But for older adults, that damage takes longer to heal, and chronic inflammation gets in the way of full recovery. That's where mushrooms shine. Certain types like shea K, meta K, and even common button mushrooms contain compounds called beta-glucans. These have powerful anti-inflammatory effects and help reduce the time it takes for muscles to bounce back. They also contain selenium, an antioxidant that protects muscle tissue from oxidative stress and age-related decline. One study published in Nutrients tracked older adults over 12 weeks. Those who took daily mushroom extracts alongside resistance training saw an 18% increase in muscle mass and 23% faster recovery compared to the control group. The researchers attributed the results to the mushroom's unique blend of amino acids, antioxidants, and immune-modulating compounds. You don't need to take a supplement to benefit. In fact, just cooking with canned or fresh mushrooms regularly can deliver similar effects. They're convenient, long-lasting, and easy to prepare. I remember one patient, Gloria, 71, who struggled with muscle soreness after short walks. We added sautéed mushrooms to her breakfast eggs and a warm mushroom soup at dinner. Within 3 weeks, she told me she was waking up without that dull, achy feeling in her legs. When paired with other high-protein foods like eggs, cottage cheese, chicken, or beans, mushrooms amplify the muscle-building effect. They don't just add protein, they make the protein you already eat work better. And here's something most people don't know. Mushrooms are also rich in potassium, which helps prevent muscle cramps and supports proper muscle contraction. They help your body hold on to strength instead of losing it in painful spasms or fatigue. Preparation is simple. Cook them thoroughly to break down their cell walls and release the nutrients. Or use canned mushrooms, which are already softened and ready to eat. Add them to scrambled eggs, stir them into soups, or roast them with olive oil and garlic for a side dish that tastes indulgent but heals from the inside. So, while mushrooms might not get the spotlight that steak or salmon does, they're quietly doing something extraordinary. They're helping your muscles heal faster, recover more completely, and stay stronger meal after meal. And in the next part, I'll introduce you to a forgotten protein powerhouse from America's frontier days. It was the fuel of cowboys, rail workers, and soldiers. And today, it might just be your secret to rebuilding strength faster than ever. Let's continue. Back in the 1800s, when cowboys rode for days and railroad workers laid tracks across the country, they didn't have gyms or protein powders, but they had something that kept them strong. Canned beef. It wasn't trendy, it wasn't glamorous, but it worked. And now, after decades of being pushed to the back of the shelf, canned beef is making a quiet comeback, especially for seniors who need serious protein without complicated cooking. A standard 3-ounce serving of canned beef provides 25 to 28 grams of complete protein, more than sardines, more than most beans, and almost double the protein in a serving of mushrooms. But it's not just about numbers, it's about what kind of protein you're getting. Canned beef contains all 9 essential amino acids in a highly bioavailable form. That means your body doesn't have to work hard to digest or use it. For seniors dealing with reduced absorption, this matters more than ever. But what really sets canned beef apart is what's inside the meat. It's naturally rich in heme iron, which supports oxygen delivery to muscles, helping them function longer before fatigue sets in. It also contains creatine, a compound that boosts energy output during movement and improves muscle contractions. You've probably heard of athletes supplementing with creatine. Well, canned beef gives it to you naturally. There's also carnosine, a compound found almost exclusively in animal protein. Carnosine acts as a buffer in your muscles, reducing acidity during exercise and slowing the breakdown of muscle tissue with age. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging followed 120 older adults over 16 weeks. Half the participants added canned beef to their diets 3 times a week. The results, they saw a 22% greater increase in lean muscle mass and 28% higher strength gains compared to those eating only plant-based protein. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between walking unassisted and depending on a cane. I remember George, 76, who'd lost muscle despite eating better. We added canned beef to his meals 3 times a week. A month later, he was back in his grandson's workshop, holding tools with steady hands and smiling like himself again. Canned beef is fully cooked, so preparation is fast. You can heat it, season it, or mix it right into meals. For breakfast, try it with scrambled eggs and potatoes. For lunch, combine it with canned beans, avocado, and salsa in a bowl. For dinner, stir it into a veggie stew with mushrooms and carrots. Now, a quick note, canned beef can be high in sodium. Choose low-sodium varieties when you can. And if you have high blood pressure, talk to your doctor before making it a staple. Also, balance it with fresh vegetables and fiber-rich foods to support digestion and overall health. But don't let the warnings scare you away from its value. The real tragedy is that most seniors don't know what canned beef can do for them. They avoid it because of outdated fears while their muscles grow weaker every month. You don't need to eat beef every day, but when used wisely, it can become the anchor of your muscle-building plan. And now that we've talked about 4 powerful foods to build strength: beans, tuna, mushrooms, and beef, it's time to shine a light on the one common food that silently destroys all your progress. It's in nearly every pantry, and it's likely undoing all your hard work without you even realizing it. Let's talk about that next. Now that we've talked about 4 powerful foods that help you build muscle, we need to talk about the food that's quietly destroying all your progress and is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Instant noodles. They seem harmless, cheap, quick, familiar. But when paired with high-protein foods like tuna, beef, or mushrooms, they create a perfect storm that works against your body. Let me explain. Instant noodles are made with refined wheat flour and often flash-fried in hydrogenated oil, giving them a glycemic index between 47 to 68. That's nearly as high as white bread. When you combine that with a protein-rich meal, it triggers a sharp blood sugar spike, and that spike blocks your body from absorbing the amino acids in your protein. In other words, your body can't use the protein you just ate. A recent study published in Clinical Nutrition followed 180 seniors over 10 weeks. Those who regularly paired instant noodles with protein meals saw a 35% drop in muscle protein synthesis compared to those who didn't. That's the difference between regaining strength and slowly losing it. And the damage doesn't stop there. The preservatives and flavor packets inside most instant noodles are loaded with sodium, MSG, and chemical additives that increase inflammation, especially when combined with the natural sodium already present in canned foods. This toxic combo leads to the formation of advanced glycation end products, or AES. These compounds accumulate in your muscles where they stiffen tissues, accelerate breakdown, and block muscle repair. Paul, 72, thought he was eating healthy instant noodles with tuna and mushrooms, but his strength kept declining. After switching to quinoa and brown rice, he regained muscle and felt more energized in just a few weeks. And that wasn't a fluke. These types of processed carbs also disrupt your electrolyte balance, especially when combined with high-sodium protein sources. One serving of instant noodles can have up to 800 milligrams of sodium, almost your entire daily limit. When this overload mixes with essential minerals like potassium and magnesium, it blocks the signals your muscles need to contract and recover properly. So even if you're eating the right protein, your muscles may be starving at the cellular level because the delivery system is broken. I'm not saying you have to give up all comfort foods, but if muscle strength, energy, and independence matter to you, then instant noodles have to go. There are better options. Whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, barley, or even whole wheat pasta won't trigger the same insulin spike. They work with your protein, not against it. And remember, this isn't just about avoiding the bad. It's about protecting the good work you're already doing. Because the last thing I want is for you to spend time, effort, and money trying to eat better, only to cancel it all out with one wrong food. In the final part, I'll show you how to bring it all together. A simple daily plan, breakfast, lunch, and dinner that lets you apply everything we've covered so far. Easy to follow, no guesswork, no extremes. Let's turn knowledge into action. You've made it this far, and that already tells me something important. You're not here to give up. You're here to fight for your strength, your energy, your independence, and I want to help you do exactly that. The truth is, building muscle after 60 doesn't require magic pills or expensive powders. It starts with smart, consistent meals using foods you already have or can easily find. So let's put everything together into a simple plan you can begin today. For breakfast, try scrambled eggs with sautéed mushrooms and a side of black beans. Add a little cottage cheese or a slice of avocado if you like. This gives you complete protein, potassium, B vitamins, and fiber all in one plate. For lunch, go with a hearty salad, canned tuna, mixed greens, white beans, chopped vegetables, and a drizzle of olive oil. You'll be getting marine protein, plant protein, and the good fats your muscles and joints need. For dinner, heat up canned beef with mushrooms, onions, and a handful of brown rice. This powerful combination delivers complete protein, creatine, and anti-inflammatory nutrients that work overnight while your body repairs. And most importantly, no instant noodles. Not even on the side. Not even just this once. You deserve better than that. Your muscles do too. If you follow this approach, consistently balanced protein, no harmful combos, whole food fuel, your body will respond. Not overnight, but steadily, reliably, safely. And when you start noticing the little changes, getting out of a chair without help, walking farther without feeling drained, lifting your grocery bags with confidence again, you'll know it's working. Now, if you've watched all the way to the end of this video, I want to say thank you. It means a lot. I don't take your time or your trust for granted. If this helped you, please click like so others can find it too. Share it with a friend who might need this message. And if you have questions or experiences of your own, leave a comment below. I read every one. Finally, subscribe to Golden Wisdom if you haven't already. This channel is built for you, for those who still believe that growing older can mean growing stronger. Together, we're proving that age does not define your limits. It defines your courage to keep going. So stay strong, stay faithful to your health, and remember, your best years are still ahead. This is Golden Wisdom, where every day we grow wiser and every meal brings you closer to strength.